Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome back to What's in the Bag, Jay. Now, this is where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in the bag, draw one out at random, and do a review. Coming back from last week is The Ripper Untold, Baba Yaga, Terror of the Dark Forest, Yummy, Let's Scare Julie, Invisible Invaders, and making his debut this week is The Bleeding House. Well, let me give the bag a good tussle, and we're going to see what we're going to watch this week. Okay. I can get this darn thing open. We're going to watch The Ripper Untold. Okay. Set that aside while I set all the other movies side by side and take my trusty Freddy vs. Jason die, and we're going to see what comes back next week. Remember, if I roll a 5, they all come back. If I roll a Freddy vs. Jason, you guys are the only ones that can bring them back. 5. They all come back. If you want to see me review Baba Yaga, Yummy, Let's Scare Julie, The Bleeding House, or Invisible Invaders, definitely vote, because I do take your votes into consideration. Right now, I'm going to watch The Ripper Untold and come back with a review later. Well, I'm back. I just watched The Ripper Untold, and here are my thoughts. The Ripper Untold is a 2021 film, which runs approximately 85 minutes, and is written and directed by Steve Lawson. Now, he was responsible for Jekyll and Hyde, Pentagram, and Hellraiser. This stars Jacob Anderton as Dodd. He was in 13 Graves, Give Them Wings, and I Am Vengeance. Chris Bell as Stubbs. He was in Friday Night Dinner, Call the Midwife, and The Heiress. And Dawn Butler as Miss Levine. She was in some shorts and some TV. Now, this is a UK production, and I remember seeing this at Walmart, and of course it piqued my interest because I like stories about serial killers, and I've always found that Jack the Ripper was an interesting study. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I will say I was actually kind of impressed with this film. Now, it says right here, fans of old Hammer horror will relish this Victorian thriller. It kind of a little bit reminded me of a Hammer film, but lower budget, maybe Hammer film. But I will say that the costumes were fantastic. The scenery was fantastic. I would have preferred maybe more night shots, because most of the shots were done during the day, and I would have appreciated more night shots just for mood and atmosphere. And the blood and guts, while it was kind of sparing, was done fairly well. And this actually deals with the case of Jack the Ripper. Okay, here's how the story goes. And I don't want to say too much about this because this is actually similar to Werewolves Within that I did the week before. It's a murder mystery whodunit, and I thought that they did it really well. Of course, I expected this to be a straight out slasher, more of an exploitation on the Ripper legend, but this actually takes it pretty darn seriously. Of course, this takes place in 1888 in Whitechapel, of course, where the Ripper's murders actually took place. And you have several main characters. You have the inspector who's getting involved in finding out who is committing these murders and what their motive is. And as things become more and more clear, you start to find out, well, the stuff that we know about the Ripper, about how the Ripper only hit prostitutes, and it had to have been someone with considerable education and a kind of a knowledge of the human anatomy and surgery. So you get that along the way, which of course we all know, those of us who, kind of know about the Ripper. What you also get is a story about an alcoholic um, guy who does autopsies on corpses. And he blacks out and doesn't know where he is you know, for the time that he's drunk and blacked out. And people keep turning up dead around him. So that's kind of where the mystery lies. The guy is really likable, of course, the guy who does the autopsies, but of course he is an alcoholic. He is unfaithful to his wife and actually hangs around at the local brothel. So all the evidence pretty much points towards him. There are some red herrings, and this actually deals with evidence from the case. Not, I don't know if it's actual evidence because I did review one or two Ripper movies that actually dealt with the case files of what they had, but this was, of course, a fictional movie. And you do find out who the Ripper is, and it's very interesting, and it kind of took me by surprise. So, yeah, it's a really good murder mystery, and it's not really what I expected at all. It is a slow burn. It is acted extremely well. It's not like the cheap British acting that I've come to really not care for. So you are getting quality acting, quality scenery, quality costuming. The kills, while they are few, it's not really about the kills. You do get some blood and gore and all that, but it's not really about that. It's more about finding the Ripper. So, yeah, I'm going to say check this one out. People just go into it knowing it's not really a slasher movie. I mean, it is technically a slasher movie because you're dealing with the Jack the Ripper, but it's not going to be your conventional slasher movie because it is a slow burn and it doesn't have a lot of kills in it. But I found the movie to be quite interesting, and for what they were working with, be it low budget or not, I enjoyed this film. It wasn't what I expected, and I can appreciate what they did. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to appreciate it, but I did. So take that for what it's worth. Definitely vote for the ones that didn't make it. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.